I have been very sick the last few days. I've only just gotten better, but it was because making all these JacksFit videos, it's hard for my physical and mental health. It wears me down seeing the same mistakes being made over and over again. And when he told us in my last video on him, which you can watch, link in description, that the bench press doesn't increase strength, yes, he actually said that, it made me die inside.
Today I've got some big news. I am officially quitting bench press. What I've realised is bench press doesn't increase your strength.
But he does have a personal trainer, and we're going to critique some of his content to see, is JacksFit under a bad influence, or is JacksFit just ignoring all of his personal trainer's advice? Hint, it's probably a combination of the two, but more so the second one. Let's get started.
Chest exercise tier list. Plate press S tier.
Oh, plate press S tier. Oh, my heart. Okay, he did say that he was rage baiting in the caption. Thank God. But the plate press, why is it bad? First of all, if you do it standing up, the resistance is acting downwards, but the chest's line of force is horizontal, so the chest is straight up doing absolutely nothing. But if you lie down and do a plate press, it will grow some muscle. It's just insanely awkward, almost impossible to progress on in the long run. And because you're going so narrow, it's actually more like a tricep press, like a really awkward, shitty tricep press.
Barbell bench press D tier.
Okay. I understand that you like your machines more. I understand that. You know, machines are better, whatever. But the barbell bench press is not D tier. When you have a tier list in progressing order of quality, progressing order of how much muscle you believe each exercise will build, D tier is the lowest tier. Being the lowest tier, that heavily implies that either A, the exercise simply doesn't work at building muscle, which for the bench press is not fucking true, or B, is so bad it might as well not be worth doing. People have been building massive chests with the barbell bench press for years. It actually is hardest at the bottom. It trains the chest where it has the best leverage, and it's not the most stable exercise in a relative sense. Machines are more stable, but in an absolute sense, if you look at the bench press in isolation, it actually is pretty stable. It is not a D tier. If you want to be all science-based, you could argue maybe it's only B tier, but D tier is ridiculous.
Smith machine press A tier.
I don't understand why the Smith press would only be A tier then. I thought that should be S tier, but the Smith machine is exactly the same as the barbell, but slightly more stable. So I feel like having them be 3 tiers apart makes no sense, but whatever.
Dumbbell chest press C tier.
And why are dumbbells C tier? They're even less stable than the bench. Is it because you can maybe go slightly lower, which by the way, half the time you can't, because the dumbbells are so big once you get remotely strong that it gets in your way, but okay.
Single arm pec fly S tier. Cable fly B tier. Converging machine press, I'm gonna go S tier.
Yeah, and the machine press is fair enough. I'm just pissed off at the bench press. The bench press, I love the bench press. It's like someone insulting your partner. It's infuriating, folks. I love the bench press, and the bench press loves me. I gave it a flower last Valentine's when I was single and sad. How could you do this to my former lover?
Bicep curl tier list. Asian curl A tier. Reverse curl D tier.
The reverse curl is D tier, mainly because when you're fully pronated, your brachioradialis, brachialis, and your forearm muscles, they are the ones that have good leverage in a reverse curl, so it trains them far better than the biceps. I still wouldn't put it in D tier for bicep growth. I'd put it probably more in C or B tier.
Easy bar preacher curl S tier. Single arm preacher curl also S tier. Incline curl B tier. Spider curl C tier.
I feel like almost all curl variations kind of do the same thing. I'd probably put almost all of them in A or S tier, but okay.
You can only pick 5 exercises for the rest of your life, but we can't pick the same exercise. Okay, incline barbell bench press. Yeah, that's the best. Remaining deadlift. Incline stretch press. Barbell back squat. You hit everything. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Barbell row. No, you said barbell. Yeah, barbell you said right. Yeah, maybe we should get all barbell. I'll do a converging machine press. Smith machine split. Dumbbell curls. Basics. They've only got 2 exercises.
Their picks are fine for the most part. I have no complaints, but I had a revolutionary thought. When I was researching for this video, I was preparing which videos I was going to react to. I had a thought.
I may not have a brain, gentlemen, but I have an idea.
To train all of the legs, you almost always have to use up 2 slots. But if you're a man, a sigma male like me, you don't want to use up 2 slots for the legs. You want that big upper body. You still want some leg growth too. So if you want to at least maintain the muscle you already have on your legs and maybe build a little bit over time, I would do a deadlift, but one with a really, really big deficit. Because if you're like me and you have like shorter or normal sized legs, the start of a deadlift is kind of like a squat, and you're actually using a fair amount of quads. When I do deadlifts, I get a quad pump because of that little bit of knee flexion you're getting at the bottom of the range of motion. If you have a big ass deficit, it means you're gonna have to basically do a squat and then you hinge at the top. So you'll train your hamstrings really well, your glutes amazingly well, and you'll get a little bit of quad growth in too. It's not a lot, but it means you only have to use one slot, which I think is worth it. And then I'd probably do some sort of chest supported machine row because I can do different grips to bias either the lats or the upper back. I would then do some kind of incline press for the upper chest, for the rest of the chest as well, a bit of triceps and a bit of shoulders. Then I'd probably do a lateral raise variation, again for the side delts. And then I'd probably do a bicep curl. Sounds crazy to do 3 isolations. For most people, I add in 1 or 2 more compound lifts. But if you're like me and you have kind of weak arms, and that's all that matters to you is having big, juicy arms, then yeah, definitely shove some isolations in there. The impacts of you constantly skipping leg day are worse than you think. Reduced testosterone. Oh god, it's the bro science. Yes, training legs does give you a testosterone boost and human growth hormone boost. However, it only lasts for like 5 seconds. It's a very quick boost in your hormones, and then after you finish training, it goes right back down. What that means is, well, yes, you will get a hormone boost. It does not last long enough and is not great enough of a boost to actually have any meaningful difference on anything. Muscle growth, how you feel throughout the day, literally anything. It will change absolutely nothing. I want to go over to the comment section because I found this one comment saying, "You're half repping RDLs, mate. Maybe lower the weight to free plates." You know, people being a hater, they see that he's on the smaller side. He's still bigger than me, but they see that he's on the smaller side and they just want to hate, you know? Haters want to hate. But this is exactly how you do not handle criticism. So there's this whole debate in the comments that talk about how the bottom of the range of motion is where the hamstrings have better leverage, therefore skipping it is probably not the best. And then Harvey just says, "Care to show me you doing it with free plates?" So instead of taking the criticism and saying, "Yes, you're right, I will work on my range of motion," because objectively speaking, if you could go a little bit lower, it might be better for hamstring growth. He's just trying to give you helpful advice. And if someone gives you objectively good advice, in my opinion, who cares who gives it to you? If a crackhead who weighed 100 pounds gave me good weightlifting advice, and it was objectively good advice, I would still follow it because it will help me get bigger, because it's objectively good advice. Obviously, if it's bad advice, completely ignore it, and I understand not trusting the crackhead in the first place, but you should always listen to advice given to you, because if it's good, why would you ignore it out of pure ego if it's good advice and it could help you reach your goals sooner or more efficiently? Anyway, then he goes, "Oh, you can't take criticism," and he goes, "You could critique my training when you can see your toes." So he just calls him fat. He just calls this guy fat. As a personal trainer, you don't fat shame people. You don't do that. It looks really, really bad on you when you are literally being paid to help people lose weight and to help people build muscle. And when people are trying to lose weight, they do not want to be judged constantly. So if you're constantly judging them, it looks really, really bad on you. Personal trainer body shaming, not a good look for your brand, bro. And they keep ranting on for a few more comments. Honestly, I think you'd be better off just not responding at all than responding the way he did. It was a very immature way to handle the situation. But anyway, that's how I'm going to end this video right here. To conclude our opening question, no, it is not the trainer's fault that JacksFit has made no progress. It is, once again, just JacksFit's fault for the most part. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, want to see more videos like this, leave a comment, subscribe, and like for more. But for now, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.